They were human, not legends, not myths, not monsters. They breathed the same air. They felt the same cold. They hunted under the same sky. And then, they were gone. No cities left behind. No written language. No monuments carved in stone. Only broken bones, buried in silence. For most of our history, we believed one simple story. That we were the first. That we were the strongest. That we were the only humans to ever walk this planet. But the ground remembers what we tried to forget. When scientists began uncovering ancient remains, they didn't find just one human story. They found many. Different faces, different bodies, different ways of surviving the same brutal world. Some were short and powerful, built for cold and darkness. Some were tall and narrow, shaped by heat and endless plains. Some had brains as large as ours, some larger. These were not animals. They were people. They made tools with careful hands. They controlled fire. They buried their dead. They looked up at the night sky and wondered the same things we wonder now. And yet, every single one of them disappeared. Today, only one human species remains. Us. The question is not whether other humans existed. The question is, why only one survived? Because extinction is not a quiet event. It is violent. It is slow. It is unforgiving. For a species to vanish, something must go terribly wrong. The world changes faster than bodies can adapt. Food disappears. The climate turns hostile. Diseases spread through small, fragile groups. But those forces alone do not explain everything. Some ancient human species survived ice ages. They endured droughts that lasted generations. They lived through volcanic winters that turned the sky dark for years. If they could survive that, what finally ended them? The bones tell a story, but not the whole story. In some sites, ancient human remains appear suddenly. Then, without warning, they stop appearing. No signs of migration, no trail of escape, just absence. It is as if an entire people stepped out of existence. One possibility is hunger. When the world grew colder, animals migrated or died out. The humans who depended on them followed or starved. But starvation leaves patterns, weak bones, signs of long suffering, graves filled with many generations. In some places, we find none of that. Another possibility is disease. A single infection can destroy a small population in months, with no immunity, no medicine, no way to stop the spread. But disease also leaves traces, mass graves, sudden changes in burial rituals, evidence of panic. In many sites, the record is quiet. Then, there is the most uncomfortable possibility of all. They didn't just disappear, they were replaced. For tens of thousands of years, different human species shared the same lands. They hunted the same animals. They competed for the same shelters. They drank from the same rivers. When resources are limited, survival becomes a contest. One group grows faster. One group adapts quicker. One group communicates better. Over time, the balance shifts. The weaker population shrinks. Their children do not survive the winters. Their tools fall behind. Their territory is taken. Extinction does not arrive in a single night. It arrives one hungry season at a time. And sometimes, it arrives with a human face. The most haunting detail is this. Some of them did not fully vanish. Tiny fragments of their DNA still live inside us. which means there were moments when different human species met and did not always fight. They shared food, they shared shelter, they shared families. Their blood mixed with ours. Then, slowly, their identities faded into ours. Not through a single battle, not through a single disaster, but through generations of being absorbed until their names were lost to time. Imagine what that means. Every person alive today may carry pieces of extinct humans inside their body. We are not only the survivors, we are the archive. But DNA cannot tell us everything. It cannot tell us what they believed. It cannot tell us what they feared. It cannot tell us what they felt when they realized their world was ending. Did they notice their numbers shrinking? Did they feel their communities growing quieter? Did they look at their children and wonder if they were the last? There are places where the evidence becomes even darker. In some regions, ancient human remains show signs of violence, broken skulls, healed fractures from old wounds, tools shaped not just for hunting animals, but for fighting people. Conflict leaves marks. Competition leaves scars. When two human species compete for the same land, one does not always walk away. But even violence does not explain every disappearance. Some human species lived in isolation for thousands of years. They occupied remote islands and distant valleys. They were safe from competition until the world changed around them. Sea levels rose, islands shrank, fresh water vanished. A small population can survive many hardships, but it cannot survive them all at once. When numbers drop too low, survival becomes impossible. Not enough adults to hunt, not enough children to carry the future, not enough knowledge keepers to pass on skills. A species can fade quietly, not with screams, but with silence. What makes this story truly frightening is not that other humans vanished. It is that they vanished despite being intelligent, adaptable, and resilient. They were not weak. They were not foolish. They were not helpless. They were us, with a different shape. Which means extinction is not something that only happens to the past. It is something that can happen to any species that believes it is untouchable. Modern humans like to think we are immune. We have technology. We have medicine. We have cities that touch the clouds. But the ancient humans also believed they would see another sunrise. The world they knew collapsed slowly. Climate shifted. Food chains broke. Rivals moved into their territory. No single moment felt like the end, until it was. Their disappearance is not just a mystery of bones and fossils. It is a warning written into the ground beneath our feet, that survival is temporary, that dominance is fragile, that being human does not guarantee a future. We walk across the same earth they once walked. We drink from rivers that once reflected their faces. We build our homes on land where their fires once burned. And we call ourselves the first. But we are not the first. We are the last remaining chapter of a story that had many beginnings and many endings. Somewhere beneath the soil, there are still bones waiting to be found, not just of who they were, but of how easily a human species can disappear. And the most haunting thought of all is that one day, another species may stand where we stand now and wonder the same thing about us.